Welcome to this Price-A-Job tutorial. In this video we'll be discussing the Site Equipment module in Price-A-Job. The Site Equipment module is stored here under the Preliminaries category in the module toolbar. You can select Site Equipment and click Create. This module makes it easy to add the costs for toilet, storage containers, drying room, or office for your building site. The smallest of building sites may only require a toilet. If you are emptying some rooms, perhaps you'll need a container. Or if you're emptying a whole house, perhaps you'll need a few containers. Larger building sites may require an office, and even bigger building sites may require an office and drawing rooms, or maybe even several. Let's start by adding a toilet to our cost estimate. This opens a new stage, and we can select the quantity of toilets required, as well as the type. And then we can set the duration that the toilet would be required in weeks. So we'll set this for 12 weeks. There's also a field that we can input the cost for delivery and collection, and this is usually included in the weekly price, but different suppliers do charge different rates, so you'll have to check with your supplier. In this case, let's just add £60. And this is updated in our cost estimate. Next, let's add a storage container. This opens a new stage, and here we can input the quantity of storage containers required, let's say 2. And we can select the storage container size and the number of weeks that this will be required for. And again, depending on your supplier, you can input the delivery and collection costs. If you only require a small container for a short job, you may be able to combine the delivery and collection costs in a single trip. So do verify this with your supplier. Now here you may see a discrepancy between the delivery and collection cost set here and the price shown here in the estimate pane. And we can easily discover the reason for this by taking a look at our configuration settings. Here you can see that we are not currently configured as being VAT registered. So therefore, VAT has been applied to our delivery and collection costs. If we let Price-A-Job know that we are indeed VAT registered, then our costs for the delivery and collection are updated accordingly. And the remaining amount of difference here can be attributed to our profit. If we deselect our profit, we can see that the cost here now equals the cost in the delivery and collection. But we don't want to forget to add our profit back in before we send our estimate out to the customer, so we will add the profit in now. And if we were to adjust our profit slider here, you can see how our costs change accordingly. Next, let's add a drying room for our building site. Again, here we can set the quantity of drying rooms required, select the size of room required, the number of weeks for which we'll require it, and any delivery and collection costs. And in adding an office to our site, it's basically the same process. We simply add the quantity of offices required, select the office type, the number of weeks for which the office will be required, and input any delivery and collection costs. And the total costs of all of our equipment are individually added to our estimate pane, along with detailed descriptions here in the description pane. If our circumstances change and we no longer require any of these items, we can just simply deselect it here, or up at the top as well. And then if we need to add it back in, it's just as simple as reselecting the item and adding it back to the stage. And our previous settings are stored in memory. And this is a convenient feature if you are managing multiple sites, as not every site will have the same requirements. For example, if this site equipment is for a job in London, we can simply change the title of this module and let this serve as the equipment list for the site in London. Then we can go here to the left pane and duplicate this module. And for this second module, we'll change its title. Rather than for the site in London, we'll change this to the site in Colchester. And because this is the smaller site, we will not require an office or a drying room or a storage container. Or perhaps we do require a storage container, and actually we will require a couple of extras. Now when we go to our Reports tab, we take a look at our quote, we can see that we have a list of site equipment for London, including a toilet, 2 containers, 1 drying room and 1 office, and for the site equipment in Colchester, we have 1 toilet and 4 storage containers. And there's a nicely written detailed description for each site-specific module. We can choose to leave the price deselected as a simple table of quantities, or we can add the price in for more detail. Or we can switch to a simple quote just to show only the description and the grand total. And that's how to use the Site Equipment module. Thank you for using PricerJob.